Okay, in this video we are going to be starting on page 349, Control Tab Formatting. First of all, as I shared with you in the last video, in the text rack panel, I had forgotten, or not the text rack, but anyway, I left a message after the top on how to fix something that I'd skipped, so make sure that you read that, because what you want to have happen is you want the borders to wrap right around the actual image itself, so packages from New York show up. So make sure that you do that step before you start this one. What you should have right now is packages from New York should be showing up here, and you should see part of it on the second page, and then packages from Los Angeles. And using control formatting, we're going to start fixing that. Some of the people incorrectly rely on the spacebar for aligning columns of text, or they rely on default tab stops, usually every half inch in InDesign and Microsoft Word, adding multiple tab characters to align the text. Both methods can be time-consuming, and both are unnecessary in proper formatting tab text. So what we're going to do is learn how to do it the right way in InDesign. First of all, I want you to be on your text tool. We're going to need that for the next steps, or this won't work properly. You're going to take your type tool, and what you're going to do is you're going to place the insertion point in the first paragraph after packages from New York. So anywhere in the 14-night adventure is where you want to click. And then we need to go up to the control panel, and in the far right hand side you're going to see space after, and it's currently showing 0.125. We're going to change that to 0 and hit tab. You'll notice that it did change the first between the first and the second in our text up here at the top. If possible, what we're going to do now, while we're still where we're at with the cursor in the blinking cursor in the first line, is we're going to go up to type and choose tab from the list. And you will notice as soon as I do that, because I'm in this first line, that I see indeed what I have is the exact width of the text cell that I'm working in. The first thing that we want to do is we want to click the fourth arrow over in the tabs bar, and then where it says align on, we are going to put a period in there and hit the tab key. What that does is that tends to line things up closer, and you'll see as we go along how this all works. Okay, so once we have that done, the second thing we are going to do is we are going to click in the white area above the ruler itself and create a tab stop. Once the tab stop is showing, you are going to go into the X field right above, and you are going to change the number in there to 3.125 and hit your tab key. And what that does, if you'll notice in the first line, it has now lined it all, the numbers clear over to the right hand side. Next, in the leader box, you're going to type in a period and hit tab. And if you look back down in the 14-night adventure line, you'll now see dots that go all the way from 14-night adventure to the price. So that's how people get the extra dots in there. So now you know. Okay, with the insertion point still in the first line of price, the next step is to open up our paragraph styles panel. So we're going to go Window, Styles, and open up Paragraph Styles. Our next step is we're going to create a new style, which is right next to the garbage can, but please hold down the Alt key when you click Create New Style, and it opens up the new paragraph style dialog box, and in the style name, I want you to type in Priceline. And also towards the middle, I want you to check Apply Style to Selection. Once you have the name in, once you have Apply Style to Selection, you can click OK. Now what you're going to do is you're going to highlight the remaining three packages, and you're going to click Priceline, and as soon as you do that, you will see that indeed it lined everything up equally with the dots between the name of the package and the price. The last thing that you need to do is click in the prices, include blah, blah, blah. That's all a disclaimer. So just get your blinking cursor somewhere in that paragraph. Scroll down this paragraph styles dialog box and choose disclaimer copy, and that will make that text real small. The next thing that you see is it brought over part of the stuff from the other side. So click on it, hit enter, and until you get it moved back to the right. And we're going to go ahead and do the formatting on this one also. So please highlight the 4 packages and click Priceline one more time, and then click anywhere in the disclaimer and click disclaimer copy. Now what you have are perfectly formatted packages, both from New York and from Los Angeles. At this point, let's do a Control S and save our work. Okay, our next step is on page 351, creating variations with conditional text. What conditional text is we already have 2 cases of it sitting here right in front of us. What we have are packages from New York with certain prices and blah, blah, blah. And then over on the right-hand side, we have packages from Los Angeles with different prices and that sort of stuff. So what we have the ability to do in InDesign is set it up in such a way where we can take conditional text from either side and flip it back and forth. And so that is what you're going to learn how to do next. So the first thing that we are going to need to do is we're going to need to go up to Window and go down to Types and Tables and click on Conditional Text, which what that's going to do is that's going to open up a dialog box for us. The next step, of course, is to click New Condition at the bottom of the dialog box right next to the garbage can, and that's going to open up a dialog box to where I can start setting things up. So what I'm going to do with the New Condition dialog box open is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the name area East Coast Text. In the name field, and then I'm going to click OK. The second thing I'm going to do is click the New button again, and in the name field I'm going to type West Coast Text. And once I've typed in West Coast Text in the name portion of the New Condition dialog box, I'm going to click OK. Now in the text frame on page 6, what I'm going to do is with the text tool, I'm going to highlight the whole packages from New York text paragraph. And I am going to click the East Coast text in the conditional text box. And if I click at the end of it, it should have highlighted that in blue, but it didn't seem to do that. There we go. Now it should. Yeah, you'll see now it's all highlighted in blue. And if I click the eye icon to the left of that condition, it will hide the other one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the packages from Los Angeles and click the West Coast text and click off of it. Nope, it didn't do it. So let's try it again. We need to get little red squigglies under it. Okay, now we have the red squigglies under West Coast text. Now all I have to do is I can hide one or the other. Let's hide the East Coast and you'll see what happens. The West Coast goes flying over, and if I put that back and hide the other one, then you will see that I have West Coast showing or East Coast showing. But anyway, that's how it works. You can just turn the eyeball off one or another, and what it does is it will automatically move the other text into place. After this, let's do a Control S to save our work so you can see how you can use conditional text without you actually having to physically move stuff around just by turning off and on eyeballs in the conditional text area. That's pretty slick, I think. Anyway, we will start with the next one shortly.